know what's crazy is even though that person had did all the things that they had done, even though they was on the other side and they chose their side, once they got over there, they were still trying to help me. Like they got over there and started trying to help me, and it's because within the last days, this person really got to know me, right? People think they know you. They're so narcissistic, so controlling, especially when it's like a parent figure in your life, whoever they is for you. The controlling nature of it, they think they know you, but they don't. And so I want to say maybe about a year and a half before this person had passed, a year to a year and a half, this person started to know me. We started to have conversations, and I started to talk to them about different things, and I could see when they would sit there and listen to me talking, they was just in shock. They were just in shock. And one of the times that person started to tell me how much they did for people, how much they gave to people, and it was out of nowhere, and how much they did for people. And this person looked at me and they said, "But I never did nothing for you." And I was blew back that that person ever that person said that to me. And like I said, even though it's weird because even though this person had done all that they did, me and this person was still really close. And so like that was my figure in my life. And so like Sundays and stuff, we go over there, we sit down and we eat and we talk stuff and all this stuff, right? But this person, once they crossed or whatever, they woke me up out of my sleep. I was already trying to, y'all, I was so tired from praying and praying and praying and praying and praying, days on out. And spiritual, like I said, who's sending these spiritual attacks? I knew some of the people that were sending them, but this particular spiritual attack was strong. And it would took for fasting and prayer, fasting and prayer. And so this person, when I felt their presence, I felt my door crack open like just a little bit, and I felt the really cold presence, and I felt my legs, and I said, "What you doing here? What you want?" And I had said his name, and I said, "I know you here. I can feel you." I said, "Here, come lay down with me. Come lay down with me. I'm tired. I'm not getting up." And this person had shot something to my frontal lobe of them crossing while they was crossing, and it made me mad. And so I jumped up and I said, "Why would you do that, right?" And this person also shot something else to my frontal lobe, and I seen another person that's still here, that's very close in blood to me, sitting down, fueling spell work. I did not know this person had played in spell work. Fueling spell work with hate, tears, like they was purposely doing this, like purposely doing all this gagging and screaming and hollering, and they was purposely fueling their spell work with this. And this person, I could see them when this person shot this, y'all. It was like a split second, but I can see everything in that time, right? When it got shot to the front of my lobe, what this person was sitting there doing, it was like a split second, but it was like I could see everything, right? It's almost like a 5 minute slow motion, but it was only in a split second, right? And I seen this person. I went y'all, it's a lot. And it was a slow motion, and I went through this door with shots of my front and below. I went through this door, and this person was sitting in the room in the dark, and they was sitting at a desk, and they was fueling. I seen candles lit. I seen all this stuff, right? And at first I was behind them, and I seen when I walked into the room, like the lights was just flickering, like the candle lights was flickering in this room. There was a nice amount of candles on this person's desk, and they took me around this person and up to the front part, and I looked down, and just that quick of a vision that went to my head, y'all. And I looked down, and I see this person lighting candles and messing with all this different stuff and saying certain words and purposely fueling their spell work with hate, like they frustration and how they felt, right? And this person had wanted me to get up and start praying against this person. This person showed me that they showed them how to do this stuff, right? And my mouth was on the floor. And once I seen that, I began to pray. But I didn't just begin to pray for myself. I began to pray for this person as well. And this adult wanted me to know that it was their fault. Like, not the person who was doing it, but it was their fault, right? And I'm like, what the heck, man? Like, you done created all this chaos, and I got to be here to clean this up, right? And so this person was letting me know that they was, even though they did what they did, they was still coming in to help clean this stuff up, right? And they was also showing me that they left me things, and these people are mad about it, right? I never received anything and all this stuff. It was another person that crossed over, who stayed with me for 2.5 years, that was also related to this person, closely related to this person. It was this person's son who stayed with me for 2.5 years. While I was pregnant with my son, it was there the entire pregnancy, all the way up until about a month before I had my son, and then they moved out. They had moved 2.5 hours away, and got them a little apartment and stuff like that. Got back on their feet, and I had my son. My son lived for a month and a half, and then he passed away from SIDS. And then come to find out, a couple months after that, this other person that stayed with me for 2 years who had moved out, they passed away a couple months after my son. This is just the craziest stuff, y'all. And so I do believe that it was partially from what these people were doing, on top of everybody else in the background that's connected to that person, this person, just everybody, right? And this person began to give me glimpses of who these key players is, that these people was being brought in, right? This is one of the top people who was organizing a lot of this stuff, but somebody came to them. A higher group came to them about me and my DNA, right? I'm Rh negative in blood. And so, and he was showing me a lot of the things, right? And I'm like, dude, you have made such a mess, right? And this person was basically showing me, like, they left me a lot of things, right? He was apologizing to me, and he was showing me that he even took stuff, other things away from me, right, that was left to me. And before he left here, he tried to straighten a lot of it up by giving me stuff, right, that I never received. And he was trying to get me to get these people to stop doing what it is that they doing, even though a lot of it was fueled from this person. Like my mail and all this stuff, right? My mail wasn't coming to me. It was due to this person who had crossed over, who went down there and changed my mail because their son was staying with me. And so I don't know if they manipulated the post service people saying that I needed this. My son was staying here, and so I need to get all his mail switched over, and in turn, they switched my mail as well. So I haven't received mail in damn near 4 years. I get one piece of mail from one place, like every 3 months from the same place, to renew like insurance or something like that, right? Every 3 to 4 months, I get one piece of mail, y'all. I've been on my own since I've been 17 years old in my own place. I always had mail coming to me. Y'all ain't been getting none. But this person was the main reason why a lot of that stuff was going on, because something was left to me and he dispersed it out amongst those people. They stole from me, right? Like my uncle had a Benz, and his Benz is on my credit report, but y'all, I never received no Benz. And this other family member who was fueling this spell work with hate has this Benz, right? And he was showing me all this stuff that these people had been doing, and he was doing, and he was showing me that before he left here, he was trying to correct it, and that they are holding on to the things that he gave me, right? And he was trying to correct it, right? Everybody want to correct it before they leave here, but you need to tell the person. See, my family was very secretive in what it is that they was doing, and so I guess they feel some type of way, and they figure they're gonna mess with my mail so I don't receive these things. But this person was scared, not and then kind of like he was forced to come to me. And so then I got summoned into this place, and he started to show me all this stuff and why he was doing it, right? Don't make it right. Don't make it right. And so this person is still coming to me on the behalf of these people, because he was showing me them laid out. Y'all. I was having visions of these people in caskets lined up. I started seeing these birds, right? I got this thing with these birds that I see when I start seeing all these big old, like thousands of birds, hundreds, it's either went between like hundreds to thousands of them in these groups, right? And this noise that they make, y'all, get sick, I get angry, I get upset, I be jittery, I be tired, right? This been something, a gift I've been having since I've been a kid. And some people gifts are like linked to happiness and this, that, and the other. Mine is not all light and love, right? And the first thing I'm gonna say, oh, that's negative. No, you negative. I live with this for a long time, and I have came to terms with what God gave me, and I am no longer in denial about what God gave me. And so I don't care how nobody feel about what God gave me. You understand? And so mine is linked to the other side. Mine is linked to people leaving out of here and the signs and the symptoms of that. And so, and I'm okay with that now, because when you deny it and you sit up there and you keep saying that that's not what it is, or you let other people bring you down, God will take that from you. We can mourn what God give us and take from us, right? And so I began to mourn when it actually did get taken from me, when I went through the dark. Person was coming to me to stop these people, right? But as time been going on, I kind of had stopped, right? I just went to God about it. And I had to say to myself, like, you still protecting these people, even from the other side. You coming to me like you protecting me, but you're still protecting them. Because at this point, all I got to do is let go and let God. All I got to do is let go and let God. That's all I got to do. Say my prayers and my affirmations and what God telling me to do. That's all I got to do. And everything else going to come to me. But see, this person is so frightened for what's about to happen to these people. Because once you become in alignment, right? It already started beginning. The people getting lifted out of here. This person was like the turnaround, supposed to be the turning point for these people to correct what it is that they doing. And so people going to either do one or two things. They're going to blame you, and you the reason why. And this person came to me and basically told me, like, these people know what it was. They knew what it was. Like, there's not no mix up. They knew what I was doing. They knew the possibilities. They knew. Everybody knew but you. Ain't that something? And you want me to go out there on a limb and go stop these people? No, I'm going to go to God about it, right? See, when you in strife and struggle and people are doing things and won't, and all you got to do is begin to heal. All you got to do is turn to God. All you got to do is begin to praise God. And all you got to do is start forgiving. That's all you got to do. Forgive. No matter if they purposely done it or not, you have to forgive. Because something about you beginning to heal starts to do something in the eyes of God. And especially when you cling to his garment. When you cling to Jesus' garment, it's something about that does something. And it's an automatic correction and justice that has to take place. These are laws of the land that has been here before we got here. And they don't want y'all getting this type of knowledge. They don't want you getting this type of wisdom. And it's always going to be somebody in the back to stop somebody from hearing this. But none of it matters. None of it matters. What matters is you take the time out to heal, and God will take care of the rest. You understand? All the way from the workplaces, what they've been doing, from this person, that person, all of them. The deeply embedded trauma that was even passed on without your permission. That was genetically DNA encoded into you without your permission. You have to heal it. And so, I said to myself, I'm running around here still trying to be good. I'm running around here. And I said, I'm just taking my power back from all of it. Stop reaching out. The day you stop reaching out, you will see who really mess with you. Nobody reach out to me. They scheduling, planning, doing all this stuff. And everybody's a part of it. But it does not matter, because something that's taking place in this season, some people are going to be called home. right? Some people are going to the space in between spaces. Some people ain't got no, some people just did not learn. Do all kind of ways, science, synchronicities, numbers, movies, music, all of it, right? And these people think they gonna interrupt what God got going on with you and try to mix your numbers and what God been giving you. You can't mix up when you that tapped into God. You know when somebody's sending you faulty information. You know when somebody is trying to intercept and intercede in what it is that God is doing for you and with you and how He signed you. Because you gotta understand, a lot of times people know what your gifts is before you, or a lot of times they know what your gifts is, and they try to intercede and try to mix up the signals and what it is. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? No, I know when somebody trying to mix up what God gave me, and I know what numbers is and what numbers ain't. I know what is and what ain't. What music is, what ain't. I know when God is sending me something and when He's not. Anything that is putting you in low vibration, putting you in a low spirit, that is not of God's. You understand? That is not of a higher vibration, however you want to put it. Whether you believe or don't believe. You understand? Low vibration, high vibration. God, the devil, however you want to put it. You understand? And so anything that's not bringing you up, it has to go. Anything that's making you look up at the past, it has to go. There's no mix up, right? At first I was mixed up, and then I had to start really sitting here. See, these are what we call the dark nights of the soul, right? All the way down to seeing what God got for you and the studying of your gifts, right? And that's when you have to be okay with what it is that God gave you, no matter how dark it may seem. And some of these people never expected for you to wield that darkness. One of the things I used to be scared of is the dark, y'all. Like literal dark. I couldn't stand it. And everybody knew I was scared of the dark, but I never told nobody. Because they was purposely embedding these things in me, putting these nasty seeds in me. And one day I just got tired. And another time I was on the phone with somebody, and this person said, this is the divination. This person had already been telling on themselves. So when this person came and showed me what they was doing, it all made too much sense, right? And one day this person called me and she said, yeah, I was talking to such and such on the phone. And I said, girl, I ain't arguing with no bitch that's scared of the dark, right? But they was acting like they was joking. I ain't never told you I was scared of no dark. That's something that was between me and God. I never told you that. And one other person that I came across that I had told that to. And you don't talk to that person. And so these people knew because of the type of spell work and spiritual stuff that they was playing in. And it got passed down to them from people to people to person. I am a victim of ample amount of spell work being through my way. Everybody want to play God. But I'm not a victim. Now I'm wielding it. The most powerful thing that you can do is wield the darkness. Wield your darkness. Once you go in and you begin to heal, you will go in and you will see that little girl that's covered in black, crying all the time. And you go inside of there and you go hug her. And she will communicate with you, and she or he will help you out along your journey. Your darkness will help you. A lot of y'all don't understand. When you go through certain things, you will see. I mean, shaman style. No other way. But anyways, I'm saying this and I'm getting off of here. It's about to be a lot of people being called home. Another person that got called from here, from helping these people to do stuff, right? On a whole nother side, because everybody thought they was going to play God in your life, some of our lives. And people got in on the bandwagon not knowing the truth and how long this thing has been going on. And a lot of the new people, they're automatically getting snatched. If they came in a point where you was already healing and these people are still doing stuff and they still put, oh God, Lord, pray for them. Pray for them. Still have compassion. Pray for them. A lot of these people came in a time where you was already healing. These people just kept doing. They was already at the end. You was already winning. Even though they thought that they was. Because they was still getting away with the stealing, the theft, the doing this and the doing that. Manipulating your life. They were still getting away with it. So, But see, God would let them go all the way up just to drop them right back down. And no matter what, God felt like you were strong enough to withstand and endure. God love these people so much. When you see what it is that these people are about to go through, do not cry. Do not fall out. Do not try to save them. Turn your head and go on about your day. You understand? Some of these people did some foul stuff that God will never let you find out about. And so, anyways, after this thing, right, with this person, this summoning over into this space and this place, the woman who passed, right, who got involved, she crossed. She was only in her 40s. And she passed from a heart attack out of nowhere, right? And I knew she was going to get it. And I told this one person, I said, when I leave this place, I said, she's going to get it. And I tried to stick here for her own sake. And she just kept going and kept going and kept going. I said, Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. I knew that this person was in a lot of boo-boo. And not even a month after I left that place, that person, I got a call saying she passed. But before that, I kept seeing this person's in my face, this person in my face. And I was telling this person, like, dude, I jumped out of bed one day and this person, like, what? I said, this person is in my face. In my face. Like, stooped down out of bed in my face, like this. And they were like, what? What the heck? How you see that? That person's still living. What you talking about? I said, I don't know, something. And I got a call 2 days later, about 2 or 3 days later, saying that person had crossed over. And so after that person had summoned me to that place, right? It was months later that this person came back to me in my dream state and they apologized to me. And they was just walking with me and they was walking. Y'all, when I look back and see where we was walking from, right? Because we was walking down these stairs and it was this big old building, right? And I look back at the building and I say, where we at? And she said, take a walk with me. And I said, walk with you. I said, girl, I said, I can't be out here walking with you, right? You, the heck am I doing? What's going on, right? She like, no. And basically had apologized to me, right? And we went walking on the side, right? These like these little rails right there from this building, and we went walking on the side, and she turned around and she looked at me and she apologized. She said, I didn't know. She said, they told me this and they told me that, and she said, I thought I was, doing justice, and she said, I want to apologize to you. And I said, I appreciate that. She said, I didn't know this stuff was going on. I didn't know. She said, it's a lot. It's a lot of it, stuff that you still don't know. And I said, it's okay. She said, you're gonna know everything. And she said, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get them all. And I'm like, who? And she took me by my hand, walked me, because we walked on down the street, right? We was standing on the stairs at this building, right? Where this building was, big old building. And I'm like, dang, that kind of like a church. And we walked down the stairs when we started off. We ended up going down on the side, and we walking along the street, but it's like these little poles. And we stopped when we got to the corner. Like we was going to cross the street at first. And she started to apologize to me and stuff like that and telling me what was going on. And so she said, and when she said, I'm going to get every last one of them, right? She turned around and took me back to the church. We walk up the stairs, and when I walk up, we walking through the church, and I look down and I see that this person's other half was over in the casket along with their friend. These two people are still here. She said, I'm going to get them. And then after we left out of there, I said, this leg guy. She said, I'm going to get them. I'm going to get both of them. She said, they out there living their life. They out there living their life, and they done put me up in the forefront to do this, and you was innocent the whole time. Y'all, she started to cry. And I said, it's okay. I said, it's all right, She said, you was so forgiving. You was so forgiving. She said, I'm going to get both of them. I'm getting everybody involved. And I said, I'm sitting there talking to her and stuff. I'm trying to calm her down. She said, I'm not leaving here until I get them both. I'm not leaving here until I take them. They got to go, right? She was dead set on taking them. And then she took me up there to the place, like I said, and I seen both these two people over in the casket, right? And I'm like, oh my God, right? Because when she take me up there, for one, I'm like, what are we going back to? We going in here, right? Who casket is up there? And when I looked over in the casket, it was one person in one casket, and it was one person and over in another casket next to this person. And then we walked back out of there, and she's still talking to me about how she felt, and she was carrying so much anger. And it wasn't hate, it was anger and passion. And she walked me back out of there, and somehow we ended up walking back out of there, and we walked out of there. We ended up at some little apartment, and she took me into some building, and this building had multiple apartments in there, and we went into this one, and she started to come undressed out of her clothes, like her funeral clothing, and she had like a slip on, right? Old school, like remember the slips that you put up under your dress? She had on a slip, and I could have kind of stayed in the hallway, and she laid down over her bed with her slip on, and she was laying on this bed, and she would just started to crying so bad that it made me cry, right? I stood in the hallway for a minute, and she just laid in her bed, and I could no longer, from where I was standing in her hallway, looking straight into her room, and where her bed was against the wall, and it was like a box spring and a mattress, and she laid on it. I could no longer see her face from the way she laid. I could just see her legs and her, the bottom half of her body, like from her waist down, a little bit of her stomach, but like from her legs and her feet, from the way she was laying. And I just kind of stood there in the hallway like, oh my God, right? But I can feel the sadness. I can feel the rage, but the sadness, like she was hurt. She was hurt that they did this to her, right? She knew why she was gone. She knew why she was gone. And she was like, they did this to me. Like, I ain't did nothing to nobody. I mind my business, man. She said, I did do this to you. It wasn't right. She said, but man, I thought I was doing justice. She said, they lied on you. They lied on you. He lied on you. He lied on you, right? And she kept saying something about my son, but I couldn't understand what she was saying about my son. So I'm assuming that this person had lied about the death of my son as well, and how my son passed and what he lied and said to her. And so she thought she was doing justice, right? She said, I couldn't let you mourn. I didn't let you mourn your son, your son. She said, I didn't even, because right, y'all, before I moved into this place, my son had just passed away. And so she had called me and reached out to me like, if you still want the place, you can, right? Because I got a proof of Section 8. And so I was in the midst of moving when all this stuff was going on. Even when my son passed on, I was in the midst of looking for a place. And she was one of the places. And so I met her through somebody. And so once my son passed, she reached out to me and told me, like, if you still want him, sorry about everything that happened. Everything's available for you. We're going to get everything done and this, that, and the other. And so in the time frame, this person that was affiliated with me was going to this person and lying with him. So I don't know if this person was laying with them. She was showing me a lot of stuff, y'all. I'm not going to get indignant and all the way down in there because this stuff is deep. What these people have been doing, laying with one another and doing all this sneaky, grimy, sly stuff, man. But she was so hurt that both of these people, whatever it was, she was married. And these two had came together to have her to do this towards me. And she was showing me these societies and these masks, right? It was just like little glimpses of stuff. And she was showing me that they purposely put her up in the forefront like they knew the whole time that she was going to be a sacrifice, right? They said they knew, basically like they knew you was covered. They knew I already couldn't do nothing to you like that, but she was hoping to do a lot of stuff. But she thought that she was being innocent in what she was doing. And she was sitting there crying so bad, like laying on this bed crying so bad. And I remember walking in there and looking at her, I'm like, is you all right? And she said, no. She said, I gotta have him. I gotta have him. Right? And I could feel the pain that she felt. It was just, it was overwhelming. It was like just consuming. Y'all had to get out of there. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was crying so hard, like with her. And I remember when I woke up, y'all, I woke up with tears streaming down my face. Like I could tell I was crying there, but I was crying here. When I woke up, my face, my eyes were swollen, like I had been crying here. And I had tears and stuff rolling down my face. And I got up and just wiped my face off, like, oh my God. Like, whoa, right? This all been happening within the last, all this stuff been going on within the last 10 months, right? Her death been about a year now. But this other person passed last December. We in September. And all these people that's been coming to me, and even my grandmother's presence is back around. And lately I've been seeing these birds again. The birds that I see is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And I try to warn people, I try to stop them, and they just keep going, man. They just keep going, and they know that the warnings are severe. But just because it's you, right? Like God gave me the pages 999, and it landed me on Jesus, right? And it landed me on all the miracles and the miraculous miracles about him and how they didn't believe who he said he was and who he came from. And they all wanted to be attached more to him and saying they connected to God, but none one of them was connected to God, only him, right? And he said, if I'm my father's son and God sent me here, then you're not connected to him, right? Because you're not representing the same thing I'm representing. Your actions and everything else you're doing, and you trying to be more righteous than me and more righteous than God. But I'm telling you, I'm connected to him, and God has showed you time and time again that I'm connected, and y'all still in denial. You still in denial. So at that point, it's a denial or jealousy or both, right? God been showing me that number, and when I walked out of the house today, I seen that number time and time again on license plates, on billboards, everywhere. 999, 999, 999, 999, 999. Like, all you can do right now for a lot of people that has been doing things in the background, it's not just me, it's a lot of us. All you can do is pray for them. All you can do is pray for them. And what's so crazy is, before my son even passed, before I got pregnant with my son, I remember I heard, and you better not pray for them. Yo, I didn't know what that mean. And so I called the elder in my family at that time, who I felt was tapped in too. At that time, as time went on, there was another person who was running some stuff in the background, right? God just began to show me a lot after my son's passing. But I asked them, like, what do certain things mean? And they sit in my face planning all this stuff, but y'all, that's neither here nor there. All I want to say is, in this time frame, in the rest of your life, I don't care who you is, be careful what you are getting mixed up in. Be careful who you are tapping into. Another thing that God gave me was Ezekiel, about telling people to turn from their wicked ways. Tell the people to turn from their wicked ways. And you want to know what's crazy? Is that God is so awesome, right? He uses us. He know that we're strong enough to be used for people to, as a punching bag, until people get to see that you ain't going nowhere. Turn your life around. That's how much God love these people. You being used as a buffer for these people to turn their life around and to stop. She ain't going nowhere. I don't care what you're doing to her. She might suffer might suffer injury, right? You might suffer a blow or two. But God know that we strong enough, right? He love these people so much. And so that's why when God is about to step in and do what it is that he about to do to some of these people, I heard God tell me years ago, and you better not pray for them. And I didn't know what that meant then, but I know what it mean now. These God love these people so much and gave these people so much time, right? And I do believe in lifetimes, right? I do believe in past lives. And ain't no telling how long some of this stuff been going on. And this is the last go round of a lot of stuff. There's no way that it's all these different things going on. And you know how they say, like, the eclipse that's happening and all this crazy stuff, right? I don't want to get off into a lot of that, but you know how they say, oh, the eclipse is happening, and that only come around once only so many of a millennial, right? You know, some outrageous number. It ain't came around since 1980, right? And this only happen once every decade, once every something, right? And it be long periods, right? Some of these people have been getting away with some of this stuff lifetimes and lifetimes. And you've been a buffer for these people to turn around and fix it for long. Some of y'all done lost your lives lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And God said, enough. Enough. You understand? One thing, another story that God been giving me is the story of Moses, and how, and all these different stories, y'all, in the Bible, like all these different stories, and it's all talking about how everybody keep turning away from God, and how he just keep giving them chance after chance after chance after chance. Like it all lines up to some type of point, right? God has been giving people chances, like the decades, and what I'm seeing, the ups and downs, like, they get the miraculous miracle for God. God set them up on high. God and give them everything they want. God do all this stuff, right? And then they turn around and turn from God, and they start worshiping this and worshiping that and worshiping this. And then you held captive, and you going back through it. And somewhere in that lineage, God keep using somebody to set the people free. And then it got so bad now to where God is using the people to set the people free. And they coming after them. God said, enough, enough, enough. Some of y'all, God showed me another thing that he showed me through all type of stuff. I was watching a movie, y'all. I used to didn't be big on watching movies. And when my gifts got snatched from me, when I was in the Dark Night of the Soul, what they call it, I didn't see my gifts. I didn't feel my gifts, right? And I just said, whatever, right? Then I got to a point where I started breaking down, like, God, what's happening? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, right? And it was another person I thought was tapped in at the time. And I called him and I was crying on the phone. I said, I can't hear God. I said, I was ignoring it at first. I was trying not to come to terms. I said, I can't hear God. I can't hear God, right? But what's crazy is that this person knew what it was that I was going through. But even though they had the means to help, they still wouldn't help me, not even in wisdom and words. They wouldn't help me physically, mentally, emotionally. And this was a personal position in my life to be sit there to do these things. But because I was surpassing them, right, it starts becoming a group jealousy and the envy. And I had to do it myself. And I had to da-da-da-da-da, right? And that's why them people stuck right there. And that's why you about to take off and be set where God set you at. And some of these people, God had gave them time and time again to apologize. Time and time again to do the right thing. Time and time again to come in and play that position in your life or who it was to you. And God said, enough. I'm cutting off the cords. I'm cutting off the supply. I'm cutting off the energy. Enough. And God is taking us where we need to go, to our promised land. And these people have to stay behind. But God wants you to understand that you are going to get it good and clear what position these people play and what they are to you. What have they done for you? What happened? How many times did you go around the being and I softened your heart? Time and time. To be able to soften your heart is a gift from the Most High God. For people to keep doing things and doing things and doing things to you, it will harden the average person's heart. If that is a gift for God to constantly soften you, to turn you around, to help that person, to do something for that person, to listen to that person. So that, and God is allowing it, not only for you to see what position that they play in. So when you finally get to where God is going and they can't sit with you at that table and eat with you, whatever it is that God doing, or even if something happened in the promised land and you get to heaven and they go to hell, they can't say, they gonna say, I use this person. I use this. Even if you never see the promised land here, you will see the promised land of the Most High God, right? Because nothing here matters. Wherever it is that God is taking you, these people would not be there. These people cannot say that this, that, and the other. God will say time and time again. And he's going to give them glimpses of what it was in the times that he used you to do what it is that he used you to soften these peoples. He said, I could have let her heart still be hard. I could have let her not talk to you. But I softened her heart and told her and gave her that, put that, instilled her when she went to sleep to get up and call you the next day. Even if she ain't talked to you for a year. You sitting there stubborn. If she didn't call you, you would have never called her. If he didn't call you, you would have never called him. That is a gift from the Most High God. So don't think you weak. And see, these people thought you was weak. These people thought they can keep getting over because God used you to be the soften and the blow for these people. But in this time, they're going to see differently. God's going to make sure they see differently. You understand? And so the people, where if you sit in your house right now, who is in your house with you right now, helping you and doing for you and helping you to get your mind right? Helping you to be a listening ear, right? It ain't all about money. And if they is, even if they is sitting there for whatever reason, because we are in the last bit, I'm telling y'all something. Either that person sitting next to you going with you or they getting left behind. And God is revealing the last of the last before he take you to where you need to go. And y'all, it's lonely at the top sometimes. But all I'm going to say is don't forget that it's already been lonely. God don't want you turning around back to Babylon. You see a movie, right? What movie was it, y'all? God had let me see a movie. And in this movie, what movie was it, y'all? I can't remember, y'all. It was something going on in this movie, but that's when I knew that God was talking to me after I started crying. And I got done from crying and complaining about me not being able to hear God, right? I sat down and I watched this movie and I knew that God started to talk to me through other things, right? Then I started to see numbers, right? The first set of numbers God gave me was 4484, but I didn't even know. I didn't find out for up to about a year after my son's passing that my birthday is October 4th, my son's birthday was May 4th, and his dad's birthday is June 4th, 444. Y'all, and it took me, I got something going on here, some pressure. That was my first set of angel numbers, but it took me about a year after to figure out that what his angel number was. I didn't know what an angel number was, but God had let my other gifts leave me, right? So, but he was, somebody snatched them. He let them have them while they had them, right? Yo, hold on, go ahead with your little spell work itself, right? While people trying to step in your shoes, right? But some of y'all got so much good grace and glory over you that they will take your karmic debt and be partying in the energy. That's how good your karmic debt is. Even the debt is better than where some of these people have been at. They will walk in that debt. But God let him call him. You could borrow that for a time because I got to show her something else. They over there conjuring thinking they won. God like, we ain't win that. I just got to let that go for a second so she can see this. She got other stuff I'm giving her. And you over there crying to God and God like, look up. Perception. Look up. I'm showing you something. You outside, you see a bunny running across the front field, a white bunny. Then you look up and you're looking at the TV and it's like God directly talking to you through the movie shows and the TV. You're like, what the heck? God was giving me some movies and was showing me everything with what they was doing through the movies. And I'm like, God, what you showing me? Then I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, what these numbers mean? That's why I mean when I say that God is patient when he's working with you to get you to the point where he's taking you, right? Then it can be a trickle of punishment in there, right? Not necessarily punishment. It's more so like, okay, you've been in training long enough. Now it's time for you to go. Get out there and spread your wings, baby. God waiting on the day like, she got it. He got it. He got what I got him doing. And you sit in the house to myself, I ain't leaving out there. You so scarred. By the time God gave you everything and then brung back, right? Because once I started getting all that, everything else started to come back. All the old gifts started to come back once I got it. And everything came back heightened 10 times stronger. And I'm sitting in the house like, I am not leaving out of here. God like, go out there and spread your wings, baby. You like a bird in the look, y'all. You in the bird in the nest, like just standing there flapping. God, the mama bird. You just flapping. Not sitting there like she about to take off flying. Your angels, your ancestors, the deities, everything that's working with you, right? You got stuff working with you. You don't even know it was possible because you so they done trained you this way, but you don't even know it's that way, right? God got all type of things. Y'all got fairies looking at y'all. Y'all got aliens waiting for you to start flying. You got all kind of otherworldly bats, creatures, vampires. Everybody waiting to see what you about to do. Because how much time and patience and compassion and energy God has spilled off into you. God has crafted us through your wounds, through your trauma, through the healing, through the crying, through the begging, through the all that. God has specially crafted you. You didn't even know that you was being specially crafted. God, you out there with your little wings. God like, okay, take off. Take off. You out there with your wings still in the nest. Take off. God like, girl, you better take off. You sitting there like, still. God like, okay, I gotta push her out the nest. Push. You like, ah. Some of y'all standing there like, ah, with all that knowledge, with all that wisdom, with all that good stuff sitting there to I ain't going. I'll just read my Bible. I'll go crush some truck. I said, no, I want you to go do this. You like, no, God bless this. I'm not going out there. I'm scarred. You still in the nest. Just, God, like, I'm going to have to push her. Your angels and ancestors told, no, she going to get it, guys. She done been through a lot over the last couple of years, guys. Since she been a kid, I put her through some of it, guys. Just give her. Even some of the wicked ones made it up there. Because they got on your team and helped you over there. You know, I don't believe that it's done once you leave here. It's levels to this. It's levels to this. Right? But that's neither here nor there. God told me don't tell too much. Right? But God sitting there, you sitting in the house, so I ain't going. Right? The job, the doing stuff, you like, You trying to go back to work and find a job. God said, I don't want you going back up in there. I want you to do what I'm telling you to do. I got something for you. You over there to me, I ain't going. God, you done showed me all this. I ain't doing it, right? Now you looking at people sideways. Everybody come across you. They all in your personal space. You don't even know people come from all over the world watching you. You wonder why the grocery store or the little store you going to empty as hell, and then you get in there everything full. Everybody watching you. What she about to do? What she about to do? What she about to do? What he about to do? What he about to do? What they about to do? You know, so why you in my personal space? Bag up. They trying to snuff some of the goodness of God off of you. What's that? Ooh, they snuffing it up like they did that unicorn movie. Remember he was like, I see everything. I got the plan. They trying to get by you just to get some of God's grace and his mercy. They trying to get some of that glowiness off of you. Some of them trying to walk in your shoes. They out here falling over like a bataller. Trying to call in what's yours. Can't God like, you ain't got to worry about nothing once you step in what you stepping in. Right? God like, God is waiting for some of us, and sometimes God will cause, it's not necessarily punishment, but it be tumultuous. The energy start being nasty because it's not punishment, right? When God is calling you to do something, to be a voice, right? No matter what they doing on the other end to stop you, right? Because it's always a demon sitting there laughing and clapping their hands. A team, playing with you and God, and God's trying to do for you. Be careful. Be careful who you playing with. Be careful who you put in these competitions. Be careful what you on the other side doing to somebody else's algorithm. Be careful what you doing with somebody's analytics and their numbers because you feel like, right? And you got to understand that it's always a bigger and badder wolf than you. And that don't mean that that person is going to side with you because they bigger and badder. They might come in and just push you on out the door so that person can flourish, right? Another thing that I seen biblically. Another thing, you got people on these platforms sitting behind the scene poking and pressing buttons and messing with your analytics and doing all this stuff, but they don't understand what God is getting you to do and how God done fought to get you to do this thing. And these people sit in the background playing like God is not about to come and rip them out of their place. You got people that sit in high spaces and high places, and they ain't even high for real. They ain't even high and mighty. They just somebody back there running the computer, and they up there pushing other people to the forefront, playing with you and playing with God, and God giving them time to get it together too. God trying to show them something through you too. And they go, it's only so much time that God will allow it until you get booted. And so you're going to get it or you're going to get gone. I don't care what type of field you think you're running. They don't want you to be seen. Want you to think that you irrelevant, but they stalking you. They didn't grow an obsession with you. I told you, oh, Arnold. Remember, hey, Arnold and Helga was obsessed with Arnold. Pushing all these karmas to the forefront in front of your analytics. See, look at them. See, look at them. Everything you do, I'm going to put somebody else up there and show you that anything you can do, I can do better. Anything you can do, that's a problem with you, yourself, and God. And God will use you to show them too. And when they don't get out the way, just like God pushing you up there to do that thing, they got to get pushed out of the way. Because these people think that they're going to run something and they're going to take advantage of their positions. Respect my authority. South Park style. Yeah, okay. All I'm going to say is, all you got to do is pray about it. Cause you got some of us got the main line. Jesus is on the main line. You understand? All you gotta do is pray about it and tell God what it is that you want and what it is that they doing and you feel like they doing. And you don't need a person in the inside to take a peek. God gonna take a peek. And when God take that peek, right, he always taps somebody that's bigger and badder than them on their shoulder and say, go take a look at this. Right? You know when somebody cheating in the game? You know when somebody rigging the game? The game is rigged. All right, y'all. Let me go back here for a second. I'm getting all right. What was I about to say? God? What was I about to say? I was saying something about God, y'all. Hold on. I know I was saying that God trying to get some of us to do something, and people out here trying to get some of us to do stuff, and people out here trying to block us, right? Thinking they gonna put us in competition with people, different people from around the world, and they gonna push these karmic people who ain't connected to God up in the forefront. Man, these people, I done seen people cars get flipped over. I got video proof within the last week of what I've been seeing. It's been some crazy stuff going on around, and that's what it is that a lot of energy, right, is being sent towards some of us, and you're seeing it on the people who are out of alignment, right? God ain't letting nothing touch you, right? Pray about it. When you get to seeing all this crazy stuff going around, you start praying, because that is nasty, tumultuous energy being sent towards some of us, right? And so I was saying too, another thing, when God wants you to deliver something, you have got to the phase where God feel like you ready to fly, and you keep sitting there and you ready to fly, right? God say, stop going to that workplace. I don't want you going on there no more. I want you to do this thing, focus in on this. I put you in a position, in a place, in a space, right? Everybody trying to attack you. People trying to attack your finances. They trying to attack where you stand at. They trying to attack your spouse. They trying to attack the bed you lay on. They trying to attack your crown. They trying to attack everything, right? And God, like, he let it go on for so long. God like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to move you, right? Some of these people got to get physically, mentally, and spiritually removed up out of here for God to get you where you need to go. You don't understand the reason why I'm saying about how you sitting there and you playing twiddle dee dee dee, and God saying she ready to fly, everybody sitting there waiting for you to fly, and to the point you gotta push you, right? You would start to feel all this energy, right? I laid in this bed, right? Prime example, I laid in this bed, and I started not to feel good, right? I'm like, I don't feel too good. The energy was being sent towards me, right? But sometimes God would allow it to bring you up out of what it is that he's trying to get you to do, right? And so, not necessarily to hurt or harm you. They're trying to hurt you or harm you, but God will let some of that energy to touch you so you can see why it's vital that he wants you to do what it is that he's calling you to do, to step forth into. Because if you're not doing nothing, then you're a waste. And it's that's harsh. It sounds harsh, but it is. God didn't let some of us go through some of the things that we went through, and there's generations coming in after us that need the help, that need your assistance. Not just me. They need your assistance, ma'am and or sir. What do you have to offer? What can you do? Can you bring them out of Babylon? If you can't, God gonna have to burn the whole thing down. And sometimes he would burn the whole thing out with you in there and redo everything all over again. It's shown in history. Every place, it was always like, gonna allow certain things to touch you, right? Because whatever he trying to do, you a part of creation. But I'm saying, like, you know how, look at history. Just look at history. Look at history as a whole. And then you could take it to the Bible. Or you could take it to the Bible, and then you can look at it as a whole, right? And there's a pattern that I see. And the pattern that I'm seeing is that, like, all these people turning away from God, and then God got to keep sending somebody in to save them, right? You got somebody with that job in different areas, places, and spaces. Then you got those who sit high and look low, and they acknowledge God, but only when it's convenient for them, and when they get scared, or when God has to send a threat to them, and then they turn around and say, oh, there's a God. Oh, put that person on the pedestal. Because I noticed, what is it, Meshach, something in the Bendigo? Meshach, I can't think of the name, in the Bendigo. Y'all can't, I think of their name. I always get their names mixed up. And the king in there, right? The king in that story. He wanted them to come across, he wanted to call all these people with these tarot cards and all these different people, right, to tell his dream and what it was, but he wanted them to do an impossible task. He wanted them to tell the dream without telling them the dream, right? And so he said, well, I'm going to take them all out since y'all can't tell me. If y'all can't tell me this dream, because his dream was so disturbing that if you couldn't tell me his dream, he was ready to take them all out, right? And so it got to the Meshach and the Bendigo. I can't never think of the other one name, but it got to them, and they said, he trying to do what? He said, take them all, and he wanted to claim they doing this and they doing that, take them all out of here, right? And they got to them, he said he trying to do what? He said, hold on, I'll tell him the dream, right? And so they put they stuff on their donkey and saddle they donkeys and stuff up, and they said, tell him we coming, right? And they went overnight, went on here and traveled and got to him, and you know, while he was on his way there, he was praying and talking to God and asking God to show him what it is and this, that, and the other, and God showed him what that dream was, and gave him also the interpretation of that dream. And so when he got there, he sat on it for a little bit, you know, and he got to telling him, like, that's that, and this and this and that and that and this, and you're gonna be cut down, and that's gonna be you, right? And he like, dang, he told me all this stuff and he right on point. And so he want to praise God's person, right? Praise God people. Oh, dressing with the finest, everything. Give him this, give him that, give him this, give him that. You know, I'm just turning around. I'm going to get my life ready with God. I'm talking about these people that's sitting high and looking low. These people that's out here messing with our analytics. These people that think they in control of this and control of that. They only acknowledge God when it's convenient for them. You understand? And so, some of y'all about to get it too. Oh yeah. 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 And so, as time got to passing, right, and he started sticking his chest out again and talking about who he is and what he is, right? God said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna send him another dream. I'm gonna send him another dream." And so they sent him another dream, and he called him in and said, "Hey, could you tell me this dream and something, right?" This time he got a little extra frisk up in him because he figured it ain't happened, right? When God sent the first threat, oh, okay. I turned from my ways a little bit. I cowered a little bit, but time went by. I'm still that guy. I'm still that guy. I'm still that I am. He done went and built a dang on thing and told the people to worship this thing, and if they didn't worship it, that he was going to do X, Y, and Z, right? And so Meshach and Abednego, Shaq, or something in the Bendigo, right? Y'all can never get their names. But they looked at him like, I know you didn't just do that after we done came in and told you what God said. I know you ain't just come up in here and do that. I ain't worshiping nothing, right? And he told the guards, grab him. I'm going to give you one more time to worship what I built out of this gold, right? And they said, we ain't doing nothing. He said, burn them up in that fire. Turn that fire on. Turn that fire on. And matter of fact, turn it up some more degrees. Turn it up. I said, throw them in the fire. Y'all got one more time. The fire is hot and ready. Y'all got one more time. Before one more time to worship this idol that I built out of gold. Because I'm me. Because I am that. I am him. I'm that. I'm the king of kings. I am. Right? He talking that good stuff. They like, my God. I'm not worshiping that thing. Right? And he like, oh, throw him in the flame. Throw him in a fire. His guards grabbed him and threw him over in the fire. They said that fire was so high that when he threw him in there, they did throw them in the fire. But y'all, they said the fire was so high that it and burnt up it woofed out and it burnt up. You know how the flame be so hot to do that? It woof, right? And it burnt up the guards that threw him in there. And Meshach, whatever his other name is, and the Bendigo walked out like. And he got the praise and give him everything. Oh, interpret that dream to me. Interpret that dream. He said, oh, that tree was you and this and the other, and you gonna be eating. This represents you being in the wilderness for 7 years, eating like the animals eat, grazing, however you say it, grazing through the grass, right? And he like, oh, give him da. It was already too late. God said, you are done. Said that after the 7 years, he went like that, lost his mind for 7 years, grazing through the field like an animal. And after he came out of that, I think he was able to take his throne back. I'm not sure. But then he got the praising God, right? Praising God, right? God do send us warning before destruction time and time again, right? Even us ones that he's trying to get us to do stuff is not punishment, right? But sometimes people can send these attacks out to us and it will begin to work because you're not standing in what God is calling you to do. And God will let it tighten in on you so you can get up and get to work. Get up and get to doing the thing that he's calling you to do. Get up and save somebody. Get up and help somebody, right? You don't know what the timing is everything. Somebody can have a bang bang to them and about to take themselves, and you put that word out there and they see you and it stops them in their track. You don't know what God is doing with you. I don't care what nobody's saying, how they trying to stop you. And anybody that stop you when God telling you to do something, they are going to be that king. They're going to be the kings, all those kings in the Bible that fell. Go look them up. It's so many prideful, arrogant people that was up there, right? Even the people, God told me to warn the people that have been out here. They said, what was the two name? The two name, Lord. But it was a husband and a wife, right? It was this man who had brought this type of glory of God to their community, right? And people were selling their homes and stuff that they had to put in, right? And his husband and his wife came together. They sold a property and they kept half the money. But it wasn't the fact that they even kept half the money when I got what I got out of it. It was the intention that they said they wanted to have the praise, the praise that people give you when you wanted to go do something that's right? They wanted to get that out of people, right? They wanted to be looked at a certain way, but they wasn't honest. They weren't in their honest, right? They would have went to him and say, hey, we kept this amount and we're going to give this amount. It's about the honesty. It's about the intent. And we kept this amount back and we going to do this, or should we do it this way, and kept it honest, right? They went out there, kept half the money back, thought they had this this plan. The husband went first, right? The husband went first to take the half of the money, and he took half that money, and he said, "Is this all you got?" It something, something, something. He already knew. They said he turned around and his eyes was piercing into that man's soul, and he said, "Oh, you." And he asked him like 2 or 3 times, and that man dropped, dropped on that ground, and they carried him on out of there, his body, and went on ahead and buried him. And then the wife come walking up. She had knew what happened to the husband, and he asked her the same thing, and she answered, and before she could answer again or say whatever, finish the rest of her stuff, she dropped, and they carried her body, right? And it wasn't about they kept even. I don't believe that it was about them keeping half the money and taking half the money, right? Because I'm not thinking myself at first when I got to listening, like, why would it matter if they kept half the money and took half the money, right? It didn't matter, right? It's about, but it wasn't about that, y'all. It was about what they was going for. Send warning to the people, right? That's something that I could never stand. It would get up under my skin when people go out here and they might have a pair of shoes, right? And they say, "I'm gonna get this pair of shoes to somebody." Instead of just gonna give a pair of shoes to somebody who needs somebody on the street, here they go feminine for the glory of self. For the glory of self. Look at me. I'm handing these shoes over. You see me? It's me. It's me doing it. I'm handing these shoes over to him right now. Oh, look at me. Oh, I got a wad of money. Let me show myself handing you that. Let me show myself doing this. Let me show you so I can get the grace and mercy. I'm gonna get the way people look at me, right? They're being fulfilled off of that. And God said, no. No. Those two dropped dead from doing that. That was a great price to pay for them wanting to go do that, y'all. I forgot the words for it. It's a name for that. It's a name for that. Taking the praise, taking a little bit of what you got and going to go give it to somebody, right? It's the intentions you setting behind what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with going to give somebody something. You can go give somebody something all day, but you trying to gain the praise. Hey, look at me with the phone. Look at me. Today, I just woke up and I feel like I was going to do something nice, right? And you online recording all this stuff and you ain't doing, even if you're doing recording, you're doing it with the right intent. But the average person that's picking up that phone and recording themselves, going to go give to somebody, going to do something, they're not coming from the right place. Everybody not doing it. Some people do got the right intention. But some of them people picking up those phones, recording themselves. Look at me. I just want to get up today and I want to go do something nice for the people. I want to go do something nice for the people. Look at me. Look at me. Want the praise from the people. Want the glory, right? You, for one, you don't turn the glory from God. You don't turn the glory. Even what you got came from God. You understand? Taking that phone. Look at me. Look at me today. Y'all, today I woke up, ate my cereal, and I ate breakfast, and I said, I want to go do something nice for somebody. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. What shoes should I give them? Maybe these OJs. I'm feeling kind of frisky. I'm just feeling kind of frisky. I'm going to take my money, my hard-earned money. The ones I work for, the money I work for. The money I got for this monetization. The money I work for. So y'all tirelessly. I didn't go to sleep last night. I stayed up all night. And my back was hurting, and I just got my first paycheck, and and this paycheck that I worked so hard to obtain, I'm gonna take a piece of that hard paycheck that I worked hard for, and I'm gonna go buy somebody a pair of something, a shoe, a this or that, right? I'm gonna go get them something with this, and you go out there, hey, look, I just got my money, look at me, oh, I just went in my closet and grabbed this, look at me, I'm gonna give them to this bum right here, this one. How you feeling about what I did for you, sir? Ma'am, how you feeling in your soul, your heart, your soul? How you feel about me though? Yeah. 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 That's your place for you. Oh, Lord. God is awesome, y'all. Yeah. God has got a special place for you. Yeah. Somebody ain't gonna like what I'm saying, but I don't care. When you got the backing of God, you'll see some things. You'll see some things, right? Y'all, I'm about to get off of here. I just skipped past this, went over there, and came back. But if you say to yourself, I had no idea what you're talking about, ma'am, and or sir, that's all right. I'm not for you, and you're not for me, and that's fine. Y'all, I recorded like a little video, and it was like a repost to somebody or whatever, and the person was saying something about the black sheep or something. Somebody got up under my video and said something very nasty. And it's always either a person that feel like they in competition with you, they cannot compete, where they can't compare, or somebody that know you that's been stalking and following, right? And God, God has been working with me on some things, and God is awesome. I want y'all to know that. And I just reported them, right? I just reported them for bullying, and yeah, don't come around here. Don't come around here with that. You're going to get reported for bullying. And then what they do is they go make another page and gang stalk you and keep on coming, keep on going. Coming. Be careful. Be safe, ma'am, and or sir. Be careful what you're posting. Be careful who you're coming for. Not what you're posting, but who you're coming for. Be careful. Be careful. You don't know what it took for that person to get to the place and the space to get here, to talk to somebody, to help somebody, to do something, to help somebody, to take a little bit of you, to be vulnerable enough to take a little bit of you, to give to somebody else, to share with somebody else. You don't know what it took and what God worked on with that person to get them here. Everybody ain't just get up in the front, come on, look at me, I. Everybody not coming from that place, in that space, in that time. God had to fight some of us to get up here, right? And so, be safe out here. Be careful of being mocking. Be careful of being nasty. Be careful of coming for people, some people. God is not to be mocked. You're not coming for us. When you come for some of us, God is taking it very personal. You understand? And so be safe, y'all. Be safe. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. And I'll be back only if it's God's will. You understand? And so, y'all, we got through this thing. And hopefully this helps somebody, you know? I love you guys, and they've been blocking me. Somebody's been messing with my numbers and my analytics. Things going on, y'all. I've been trying to get these words out, and it's been a lot of spiritual attacks and stuff like that. But certain people have been doing a lot, right? People out here trying to put some of us in competition, trying to get us to butt. But their lane is not your lane, and your lane is not their lane. And so they trying to put these people up here who's serving not God, themselves, right? Servants of sales, but coming on here like, I'm just so, hi, it's me. Look over here. Don't look over there. Don't look over there. Look over here. Look over here. Me. Right? Some of these people that sit high and look low. Some of those people who sit high and look low, you will watch them in this season come up off some of their thrones because what they have been doing and how they've been attacking God's people. And who is you? You don't have a degree. No, I don't. No, I don't at all. As a matter of fact, all I can do is help somebody tell a little bit of my story, help them with their story. That's it. That's it. I ain't nobody. I'm just here with God. I'm doing what God's telling me to do. And what God is telling me to do is, and his consequences and his repercussions is greater than any human on this earth. You understand? And so, when God called me to do something, I'm going to be Johnny on a dolly. And anybody that stands in God's way, Lord have mercy on your soul. You know? And so, y'all, I'm getting ready to go. If y'all don't see me for a little bit, whatever, however God want to do this, he might call me, come back sooner, right? He been doing something with me, right? My little broad thing that came to lose, my little thing that's not, God been doing something with some of us, right? Working with us, right? Working with us. You got some of these people sending out spiritual attacks, they cheating, right? They rigging the game, they rigging the race, and they want to put you in competition. God not having it. You will be seen about too. That's not a threat. That is a promise. God is not playing. God is not to be mocked. God is not to be mocked. I have watched somebody with my own two eyes, a life be completely destroyed from mocking God. One person inside of a workplace came to me for some advice, right? And I gave them advice, and it was very godly. And that person came to me for some type of advice and went back and was mocking God with the words. And everything in their life crumbled. Their husband passed away. All this crazy stuff. Like some bad stuff went on, right? And they were trying to get people to move away from me. And when people seen what was going on, they like, and one of the people came to me, they said, one thing about it is, I don't believe in a lot of stuff, I don't get off into certain stuff, but one thing about it is I ain't mocking God, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. And I ain't sitting around nobody doing it. And that person kept trying to walk with this first person was running from them. You understand? Because God is not to be mocked. However, you feel like somebody got a glitch and a twitch, and they say this too many times. Anyways, guys, I have to go. I'm gonna go make me some ice water. It's pretty early in the morning. It's 5 in the morning. Hey, yeah. But yeah, y'all. It's time for me to chill. It's time for me to chill. Probably put my little video together and see how I want it. Put in what I want, take out what I don't want, and whatever, right? Hopefully it help you. I'll be back if it's God's will. Some people in the background playing these games. They will be removed. And I'm saying that with confidence. I'm being confident in what I'm talking, what I'm saying. I got confidence behind that. They will be removed. So for the people who have been servants of the Most High God, who's been getting their word out, however they got to get it out, people look at this person and say, I'm better because I'm doing this, and I'm doing it like that, and I'm using this, and I'm using this, and they using that, right? Doing all this nasty stuff, talking about you on their platforms, and thinking people don't know who they referring to, right? Stealing your content, stealing your word. Everybody want to take a piece and ad-lib off of it like it's theirs. God is not to be mocked. I'm being told to ad-lib on that. God is to continue that out, right? God is not to be mocked. Be safe in this season. And some of these people, y'all seeing getting off these platforms for a little bit, and then they coming back, right? They being tore up behind the scenes, and they're not telling you that they're being tore up because they know what they have been doing on these platforms and messing with some of us and being big bullies. I don't care what walk of life they come from. I don't care who they claim to be from, right? I'm gonna say again, like God gave me that word 999. Jesus kept saying, if I'm from God, and I'm telling you I'm from God, and I know I'm from God, and I know God sent me, and I know my connection to God, then you can't be from God. The things I'm watching you do, the things I'm watching you say, how I'm watching you be a bully, how I'm watching you take advantage of your position, to know what you is and what you ain't, and how you this. Some of these people have went as far as taking trips to some of our little video hometowns to figure out who we are, and so it can have some type of dirt. But baby, you can't get no dirt on me. You can't get it better than the person. You can't go out there and get no type of nothing from nobody. The person can tell you they self. You understand? How you going out there trying to get some dirt on somebody and trickling around town, right? Like God ain't telling us what y'all out here doing. And some of them finding out certain things and they running back to their city. Running. Thought you was to be mocked, thought you was to be played with. And came digging and found something and it scared them half to death. Found out some of y'all half alien. So found out some of y'all came from the trenches. Some of y'all ain't even got times on your birth certificates because they made up. Find out that your family done stole you or something weird, right? Over here playing. You gonna get what you got coming. You gonna get what you came for. You better stay where you at. Stop trolling around. Some of these people is going far and wide to find some dirt. But all they had to do was go ask that person. If you want to know about that person, call them to the forefront. Anybody talking about they found out, they heard, they seen, they went and did, that person is not right. Because my thought would be, why you ain't just go ask that person? They personality seem enough to where, down to earth enough where you could have just asked them. Why you ain't come together and do something with them? Why you ain't come together and put them in and say, hey, I want to talk to you, I want to know about that. And some people have, and they went to other people before you and got these perceptions and got ran off. Or just sending you out stuff. I want to let y'all know, if y'all sending me stuff, I ain't received nothing. If anybody reached out to me, I ain't received anything. If anybody responded back like it was me, it was not me. So anyways, y'all, I don't play like that. I don't be messaging people, I don't inbox people, I ain't playing like that. And so, 911 24 24, hey. To lay you down. Hey, y'all, that's my song. Let me stop before I get in trouble, y'all. All you gotta do is reach out to me. 911 Y'all have a blessed one. All right, I'll be back only if it's God's will. All right, love y'all. Bye-bye.